Hey, Salvador Rigman here. Welcome back to the Crowdfunding Demystified YouTube channel. And today I want to talk about some of the tips that I have for you when it comes to making an effective GoFundMe video. And by that I mean getting people to not only be interested in what you're doing, to care about what you're doing, but to also give money after watching it. A lot of the times, there actually aren't even videos on GoFundMe that I see. More often than not, it's just a photo or a very haphazardly done one at that. So first of all, congratulations, because video is such a powerful medium, and being able to use that for your GoFundMe campaign is a great way to arouse emotions, get people to feel trustworthy with you, to warm them up, to feel more rapport with you. So it's great that you're using that for your GoFundMe campaign. Let's talk a little bit about how to optimize your video and also some of the elements that you might want to include. So first of all, you don't necessarily have to be in your GoFundMe video. You can use a very simple tool like iMovie in order to edit it. And if you want to, you could do audio over photos. You could have B-roll as another great way to tell a story. I actually recommend B-roll over just having photos, but B-roll is just very simply like when I'm talking, you have some video footage that's playing over my talking. So you could have photos and B-roll and also use audio in order to tell a story. Or if you want to, you could also post like a talking head kind of video the way that this YouTube video is being filmed. And you can use something simple like iMovie in order to edit that if you have a MacBook, or you can use a very simple software, on Windows in order to do that. And that should honestly be enough. What are some of the characteristics of a good video? Well, first of all, I want to talk about the talking head style videos. What are some ways that you can improve it? Number one would be, the filming of the video would be making sure that your audio is good. So if you have the camera and it's very far away from you and you're trying to make the video, the audio is going to sound very distant and very far away, and it's going to be maybe a little bit tinny. So you could purchase a very simple lavalier microphone for $10, $20, attach that to your lapel, your shirt, and maybe record using your smartphone the audio of the clip, and then you sync up the audio with the actual video if you want to do a video that's a little bit farther away from you. If it's closer, it might not matter as much. The other thing that you could do to make the video a little bit more interesting is to capture multiple camera angles. So maybe you talking to the video here in one angle, and then you have the camera here, and you're talking to the camera then in this other angle. Or if you have two cameras, you have one here and then one on the side, and it's capturing a side view of your face. I've done that with some of the videos that I put out there on YouTube when I think it warrants it, or I'm trying to sell something, trying to get people to do something. It makes it more interesting. So the more quickly you can change the frame that your people are seeing, the more people's attention are going to be held. And that is the number one thing, is holding attention. Attention is difficult because all of us are on our phone, are watching YouTube clips of dogs and parrots and animals that are really cute. How do you maintain attention? Well, the easiest way to do that is to change up the frame a lot. So you're talking, and then maybe you have some photos that come over the screen, or you have some B-roll. Maybe then you have you change the camera angle. The more that you can change up the frame, the more people are going to pay attention to what it is that's being said. And actually, this if you ever watch a video where it's like a talking head video for 30 minutes at a time, you tend to fall out of attention a lot because the frame is not changing very much. So the secret to attention is change the frame a lot, but you can also do other things. Like, when it comes to the video, the idea here is to get people to feel emotion. And the way we do that is with story, telling the story of how things came to this point in time, why you need this money now, why it is that this is really your last ask, or what this is going to do for you, or how are you going to use these funds. The story is done verbally and through B-roll and photos, but also the story is done with music. So you can go on YouTube and you can look up royalty-free, copyright-free music, and if there is a track that maybe has a little bit of the emotion that you're going for, if you're trying to make people feel sad, obviously having some sad music is going to make people feel that way. If you're trying to make people feel upbeat, having some upbeat music playing lightly under your video is going to make people feel more upbeat. It sounds very simple, but I can't tell you the number of times that I myself just didn't even do this when I was trying to do like a vlog or something. I didn't even think about, oh yeah, music. Music is a way to make people feel emotions along with the photos and the video. You're just discussing the production quality. Another thing to maintain attention would be cuts. So cuts, a lot of the times we think that we are so interesting that someone wants to watch a 5-minute or 10-minute long video of just us talking. And I'll be honest, like I have videos out there on YouTube that are like that. Usually almost every word out of my mouth is relevant in some way, but I at times do go on tangents, and I can see with my audience retention graph, people's attention going down and tuning out of the video at those points in time. So an easy way that you can maintain attention is just, if you are rambling or for some point in your video, you're just not, super on topic, just cut that out and keep it to the very tight-knit kind of message that you want to share. Typically, the shorter the video, the better, because we all have a tendency to go longer with the videos that we're making online. Using cuts is another way for people to keep their attention, because they feel like, oh, you're cutting out the boring things, so what you're saying is going to be important next. It's almost like a subtle psychological way that people are more tuned in if you're only sharing with them the most relevant parts of the video. A final way that you can, I'll say 2 final ways that you can create emotion using video. And I'm actually probably not the greatest example in this video of some of these things, but I have other videos out there online where I have really good lighting, I have really good sound, all that kind of stuff. I'm just kind of just making this video because I want to put out this content. Another way to create emotion is with lighting. So I'm going to just say lighting. So lighting, looking at the video now, the better your face is lit, and ideally in front of a window, people are going to view you as much more trustworthy, much more honest, much more transparent. If you're making a video and there's a lot of shadows on your face, or there's not super good lighting, it looks just kind of shady, you're going to come across subconsciously as not being as trustworthy, not being as legit, not being as approachable. This is why when we're walking down the street at night and it's dark out, we tend to be a little bit more wary of the people that we're seeing, versus when it's light out, you're like, it seems normal, it's fine. The same thing goes with video. So make sure that you have decent lighting. The easiest way you can do this is just to film the video in front of a window so that the light is pouring in. You look really good. You look like you have an honest face. The other thing when it comes to lighting is the camera angle. So right now the camera is straight on with me. If I had the camera a little bit higher up and looking down at me, I would be appearing a little bit more innocent, a little bit less powerful, a little bit more approachable. So if you want to appear more sympathetic or more nice or innocent, you could have the camera angle be pointed down at you and you'd be looking up. And this is actually why a lot of females, when they're taking selfies, are having the camera be so high, because it makes them look cute, innocent, nice, approachable. Whereas if you take the camera angle and you put it down, and you see this in movies, and the camera is coming from this angle looking downward, you tend to look more powerful, more serious, more stern, more in command. And you'll see actually, if you look at even dating profiles with guys, a lot more camera angles faking down, because men want to look a little bit more powerful in that way. But also in just movies and videos, in films, you'll see the camera angle changing based on how they want the person to be perceived in the scene. So lighting and camera angles, another thing to be aware of here. So this is a lot of technical stuff when it comes to the video. I'm just going to go over a couple of the quick points when it comes to things you want to hit in the video in terms of you talking and telling the story. Also, I have a great book out there called Crowdfunding Personal Expenses. This book is available on Amazon. It's also available on Audible. You can get a paperback version on Amazon. You can get an ebook. You can listen to it if you want to in the car, via Audible, etc. So I recommend Crowdfunding Personal Expenses. Great book. Put a lot of effort into making a blueprint for you. And this video today is just kind of like a sample of that. I have way more in-depth content in that book. So let's go over some of the things that you want to hit with the video. So first of all, you want to have the whole video be about a story. So it's telling the story of the events leading up to this moment in your life, why it is that you need the money, what it's going to be used for, why you are going to GoFundMe, those kind of things. You're telling the story, and what the story does is it enables a stranger to come and watch the video and to put themselves in your shoes, to listen to your story, and they're like, oh, okay, I can see how I would feel in that situation. I can see what I would do in this situation. This makes sense. Wow, that's horrible. The story is meant to create empathy, and it's meant to create feeling or emotion in the viewer. And this is why we watch movies, because we feel emotions when we're watching a movie. Empathy and feeling with the story. So you want to make sure that you tell the story, like we talked about before, video, photos, etc. The other thing that, if possible, you're going to want to have is a before and after glimpse. So before and after is another way to say, what impact is the money going to have on your life? If I am going down the street and I have a beggar who's asking me for change, I kind of question the before and after. I question, if I give this guy $5 or $1, what is he going to do with that money? Is he going to go and buy more liquor? Is he going to buy more drugs? Is he really going to use this money in a way that's going to get him off the street? And that's honestly a question that I have living in New York City. If you can paint a good before and after of, this money is going to enable you to do X, Y, and Z, or it's going to solve this problem in your life, and so that you can do this, this, and this. You can now play with your kids. You can now have a rich life. Try to paint a before and after of where this money is going to go and how each dollar is going to make this happen in some way. You want to paint a picture of what someone's contribution is going to do for you and the impact that it is going to make. They've done lots of studies on millennials particularly, and millennials like to see that their money is making an impact when it comes to charitable giving. So show people what is the before and after impact that this is going to make in your life, and this is why you're basically doing this campaign. The third thing, if possible, not everyone can do this, but it's ideal, is to add in credibility. Now, what is credibility? Credibility is that you are a real, legit person. This is not a scam. This is something that you really need, and you're just at a moment where you need a little bit of help. And there are some ways you could do this. One easy way is by having someone vouch for you. So in the video, it's not just you, but you have your daughter, or you have family members, you have your friends, other people who are vouching for you and what this is going to mean for your life, or someone just honestly running the campaign on your behalf is a tremendous credibility indicator. Other things would be showing evidence that this is legit, that you went through a medical procedure, showing documentation, or having people talk about this thing that you went through on camera, trying to show people tangibly that this is legit, that you are a real person, that you're a good person, that other people are vouching for you, that you're a functioning member of society. Before this thing happened to you, now you need to raise money. Showing credibility in your video is a great way for people to trust you and to be open to giving money to your GoFundMe campaign. The final thing is make an ask. And the ask doesn't always have to be, can you give me money? It could be, would you be willing to help out? Your contribution will do X, Y, and Z, and reiterating that impact. But it could also be, if you are interested, I have some more documentation down below in the video story. If you want to learn more, I tell a little bit more of the story here and get people to read that story and to see the documentation if it's more of a complicated kind of an ask that you have for you, and to get them to actually read. They're going to be then starting to believe you much more and then be willing to donate money to your campaign. So have some kind of an ask, because at the end of that video is the best time to have someone do something, or to have someone actually share your campaign, or to give money, or to do anything, because they've lasted through the entire video, which means they at least like you a little bit, or they at least are paying attention to you. You have their attention. They're starting to feel some emotions maybe towards you. They're starting to actually care. It's a great way to then have them, like I said, share, give money, learn more in the description of the story of your campaign. This is a great time to do this. So I hope that some of these tips on the function of the video and also this helped you. And also the book that I have, Crowdfunding Personal Expenses, goes even more in depth into this raising money from strangers using GoFundMe. I've literally boiled this down to a formula that is proven to work, applying a lot of marketing techniques, specifically targeting emotions in order to get people to take action. I think you're gonna like this a lot. So go and check that out. Give me a thumbs up, come subscribe if you want more content like this, and leave a comment if you have any more questions.